Motivation can get you started, but only discipline gets you to the finish line. Most people are waiting for motivation. They think one day they will feel ready. One day they will wake up full of energy. One day everything will just click. But that day never comes, because motivation is not reliable. It comes and it goes. Some days you feel unstoppable, and some days you don't even feel like getting out of bed. If your life depends on motivation, your results will always be inconsistent. This is where discipline changes everything. Discipline does not care how you feel. It does not care if you are tired. It does not care if you are lazy. It does not care if you are not in the mood. Discipline simply says, do it anyway. And that is the difference. Motivation is emotional. Discipline is logical. Motivation is temporary. Discipline is permanent. Motivation is easy. Discipline is hard. But discipline works every single time. Look at people who succeed. They are not always motivated. They do not feel like working every day. They do not feel like pushing every day. But they still do it. Because they are not controlled by feelings. They are controlled by habits. And habits are built through discipline, not motivation. This is why most people fail. Not because they are not talented, not because they don't have opportunities, but because they rely on motivation. They start strong, and then they stop. They get excited, and then they quit. They plan big things, but never stay consistent. Consistency is everything, and consistency only comes from discipline, not from motivation. So if you want to change your life, stop waiting to feel ready. Stop waiting to feel motivated. Start building discipline. Start doing things even when you don't feel like it. Because that is where real growth happens. Not when it is easy, but when it is hard. Not when you feel like it, but when you don't. That is the moment that matters. That is the moment that builds you. And most people miss it because they choose comfort over discipline. They choose easy over growth. But every time you choose discipline, you move forward. Even if it's a small step, even if it's slow, you are still progressing. And over time, those small steps turn into massive results. This is how real success is built. Not in one big moment, but in daily small actions. Actions that most people avoid. Actions that feel boring. Actions that feel difficult. But those actions create the biggest difference. So stop chasing motivation. Start building discipline. Because motivation will leave you, but discipline will stay with you forever. Here is the truth most people don't want to hear. You don't lack motivation. You lack discipline. Because if something is truly important to you, you would do it anyway. Not when you feel like it, but when it needs to be done. Think about it. When you are hungry, you eat. When you have an exam, you study. When there is pressure, you act. You don't wait for motivation in those moments. You just do it. Why? Because it becomes necessary. Now imagine, if your goals felt that important, if your future felt that urgent, if your growth felt that necessary, you wouldn't wait. You wouldn't delay. You wouldn't make excuses. You would act. This is the mindset shift. Stop treating your goals like options. Start treating them like responsibilities. Because discipline is not about forcing yourself. It is about deciding that this must be done, no matter what. And once you make that decision, everything changes. You stop negotiating with yourself. You stop saying, "I'll do it later." You stop depending on mood. You start acting with purpose. This is how disciplined people think. They don't ask, "Do I feel like doing this?" They ask, "Does this need to be done?" And if the answer is yes, they do it. No drama, no excuses, no delay. This is what separates them from others. Not talent, not luck, but mindset. Because most people are emotional. They act based on feelings. If they feel good, they work. If they feel bad, they stop. But disciplined people are different. They act based on decisions, not emotions. And decisions are powerful because emotions change, but decisions stay. This is why discipline creates stability. Your actions become consistent. Your progress becomes predictable. Your results become inevitable. And once you reach this level, you don't need motivation anymore, because you already know what to do, and you do it every day, no matter what, even on bad days, even when you were tired, even when you were bored. Because discipline is not about intensity, it is about consistency. You don't have to do everything perfectly. You just have to show up again and again and again. That repetition builds momentum, and momentum makes things easier. At the beginning, everything feels hard. But once you build discipline, it becomes part of you. It becomes your identity. You become the type of person who does what needs to be done. Not sometimes, but always. And that identity is powerful. Because once you see yourself that way, you don't go back. You don't fall into old habits. You don't break easily. You stay consistent. And consistency is what creates results. So stop asking yourself, "How do I get motivated?" Start asking, "How do I become disciplined?" Because once you have discipline, you don't need anything else. You will show up. You will work. You will improve. And you will win. Not because you felt like it, but because you decided to. Now the question is, how do you actually build discipline? Because knowing is easy. Doing is hard. And this is where most people get stuck. They understand everything, but they don't apply anything. So let's make it simple. Discipline is not built in one big step. It is built in small actions, repeated daily, not occasionally, daily. Because discipline is not an event, it is a system. And systems are built through habits, small habits, simple habits, but consistent habits. This is where you start. Not with something big, not with something extreme, but with something you can do every day. For example, if you want to work out, don't start with 2 hours. Start with 10 minutes. If you want to study, don't start with 5 hours. Start with 20 minutes. Why? Because the goal is not intensity. The goal is consistency. Anyone can work hard for one day, but very few people can stay consistent for months. That is what builds discipline. Doing the same thing again and again. Even when it feels boring, even when it feels slow, even when you don't see results. Because results take time, but discipline builds before results appear. This is where most people quit. They don't see progress, so they stop. But disciplined people understand something. They understand that progress is invisible at first. You don't see it immediately, but it is happening. Every time you show up, you are changing. You are improving, even if it feels small. And over time, those small improvements become big changes. This is why systems are powerful. Because systems remove decision-making. You don't wake up and think, "Should I do this today?" You already know the answer. Because it is part of your system, you just follow it. This saves energy. This removes excuses. This creates consistency. For example, set a fixed time. Same time every day. Same place, same action. Now it becomes automatic. You don't rely on mood. You rely on structure. And structure builds discipline. Another important thing, remove distractions. Because discipline is not only about doing things, it is also about avoiding things. Avoiding time waste. Avoiding useless scrolling. Avoiding things that pull you away from your goals. Because every distraction breaks your focus. And broken focus kills consistency. So protect your time. Protect your energy. Protect your attention. Because these are your biggest assets. And once you control them, discipline becomes easier. Also, track your actions, not your results, your actions. Because results take time, but actions happen daily. If you track your actions, you stay accountable. You see your progress. You stay consistent. And consistency builds discipline. This is the formula. Simple actions, repeated daily, protected from distractions, followed without excuses. This is how discipline is built, not in one day, but over time. So don't try to be perfect. Just try to be consistent, because perfection is not required, but consistency is. And if you stay consistent, discipline will become part of you. And once discipline becomes part of you, success is no longer optional. It becomes inevitable.
In the end, discipline is not about being perfect. It is about being consistent. Because perfection is impossible. There will be days when you feel tired. Days when you don't feel like doing anything. Days when everything feels heavy. And that is normal. That is part of the process. But discipline is not about avoiding those days. It is about showing up even on those days. Especially on those days. Because those are the moments that define you. Anyone can work when they feel good. Anyone can push when they are motivated. But very few people can continue when they don't feel like it. That is where real strength is built. Not in comfort, but in resistance. Not in ease, but in effort. Every time you push yourself when you don't want to, you grow. You become stronger. Not physically, but mentally. And mental strength is everything. Because your mind controls your actions. And your actions create your life. So if you can control your mind, you can control your life. This is why discipline is powerful. It gives you control. Control over your time. Control over your actions. Control over your future. And once you have control, you are no longer dependent on motivation. You don't wait. You don't delay. You don't make excuses. You act. Every single day. Even when it's hard. Even when it's boring. Even when no one is watching. Because discipline is not for others. It is for you. It is the promise you make to yourself. And every time you keep that promise, you build trust with yourself. And self-trust is powerful. Because once you trust yourself, you stop doubting. You stop hesitating. You stop overthinking. You act with confidence. Because you know you will do what needs to be done. And that confidence changes everything. It changes how you think, how you act, how you live. Because now you are not hoping for success. You are building it. Daily, step by step, with discipline. And over time, this discipline becomes your identity. You are no longer trying to be disciplined. You become disciplined. It becomes part of who you are. And once that happens, success is no longer a question. It becomes a result. A natural result of your actions. Because disciplined actions always create results. It may take time. It may take effort. But it always works. So stop searching for shortcuts. Stop chasing motivation. Stop waiting for the perfect moment. There is no perfect moment. There is only now. And what you choose to do right now will shape your future. So choose discipline. Choose action. Choose consistency. Because in the end, it is not motivation that changes your life. It is discipline. And once you understand that, everything changes.